go to the gym, I go to my classes, I do well in my classes. I'm pretty much living the life that a D1 athlete at Cal Poly would live. I just don't have the official title.
Yeah.
So I thought I can give this title to myself through Instagram Reels. Thus, the D1 Jiu Jitsu athlete was born.
Kai Malek is on a mission to be the first D1 Jiu Jitsu athlete in history and taking daily steps to get there. He trains every day, posting new content regularly. But Kai's not just another influencer. He's a serious competitor, building a personal brand, redefining what's possible for the next generation of athletes, one reel at a time.
My main goal is to compete at like the highest level. Like winning doesn't really drive me that much. What drives me is like people watching me do jiu-jitsu and then them being like, wow, that was really cool. He has to step up his game. I'm calling you out, Ethan Wagner. Fight me on Instagram.
All right, Kai. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm a little tired from yesterday, but
Coming off a big win?
big is, I don't know. I won. I got 2 gold medals, but like every win I had like an asterisk. So
Yeah.
like my first match, um, within the first minute, the guy like went on an ankle lock and then he turned inward, which you can't do in purple belt. So he got disqualified. And then my second match was the finals match, and I like barely won by one advantage. So I wasn't really happy with that.
Yeah.
And my last match in my no-gi division, there was only one other guy, and it was the guy who was like Masters 2. He was 36 years old, and he came down to my division because there was no one else for us to go against in our weight class. And I ankle locked him, and it was an okay match. It just wasn't that satisfying. It's like everything I did yesterday was just like, it was, yeah, it was fine.
You got him though. You
Yeah.
said your ankles weren't feeling too good today. Did you get ankle locked yourself?
Yeah, so that first match, when he turned in, it actually kind of like popped my ankle pretty good, but I didn't tap to it. But the ref just saw that and reset us and DQ'd the guy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
How did you do in the no-gi?
that was the match where I went against the older guy.
It's just one.
It was just one guy. It was yeah, I just pulled guard because my ankle was already hurt, and then he tried to like cartwheel over me, and then I entered into his legs and did like a really boring, simple ankle lock and won pretty fast. So
Cool.
yeah,
So those types of tournaments, like these, what was this? It was like the US Open or something like
yeah,
that.
it was the U.S. Open. I think it was more prestigious, like I don't know, 20-ish years ago.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like on the same scale as like a local Naga one.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it was like a smaller local tournament.
Were you anxious about it at all or?
Um, I was only anxious for one reason, and that was because I was planning on having to go against Seth Kiefer in the absolute nogi, and we ended up not doing the absolute nogi, but I was a little bit nervous for that because I was like, oh, dude, I don't want to go against Seth. Like he's
Yeah,
huge. He's scary,
yeah,
and he's my friend too, and I hate going against people I know.
for sure.
But other than that, I didn't really have much nerves because I knew it was kind of a smaller local tournament, and so I've done a lot of those, and so I'm very comfortable in that
Yeah,
setting.
for sure. What about like these bigger ones? Like what about the fight to win event? Were you nervous for that one?
Um, I was a little nervous, but the fight to win was a little bit different because it was just me on the stage, and when it's just you and your opponent and the ref, obviously, it feels more special. And because there were people in the audience that I knew that they would support me no matter what, even if I lost, they would say I did a good job.
Yeah,
So that kind of helped calm my nerves. And also, that's like my favorite part of jujitsu is when I know that people are watching, it makes me want to do cool things.
yeah,
So I was not that nervous. Yeah.
yeah. Do you like that format better, where you go out there and do one match?
Yeah, because also I just completely like blew everything I had and I was like, "It doesn't matter because I don't have anything else after this. It's just this one match,
Yeah.
so I could just go 100%." And, I was pretty tired after, but
Yeah.
didn't matter because I won,
Yeah,
so
for sure. Yeah, that was a good match. Um, so can you just give us a quick backstory on kind of your journey coming back to jujitsu? I've heard you talk about it before, but I think it would be useful to kind of give people who don't know you as well um, some background on who you are, how you came to jujitsu, what you're doing now.
Yeah, so, growing up, my dad always put me in sports because my dad was a big athlete, in high school, like, he played baseball in college, and then he also played football in high school, so he was kind of like a jock, and I think he wanted me to follow in his footsteps, and don't think I was ever, like, a traditionally good athlete as a kid. Like, I was okay, but I'd never had that drive, and so I would play baseball, but I was always really scared of the ball, and so that made me ended up I ended up quitting when I was, like, in 4th grade, and so my dad was like, "You still have to do something," and so one of my friends did jujitsu, and my dad, like, asked me if I was interested in that, and I thought, like, "Why not? Like, it sounds cool." So I did it for a little bit in 4th grade. I did it for about 2 years, and I was pretty consistent with it, and I went to class, but, I didn't have, like, a super strong passion for it, mostly because I was just really bad, and I was really small as a kid, so I would just get beat up by everyone else. I remember I did one tournament, when I was younger, and it was, like, an in-house tournament, and I just got beat up pretty bad, and they gave me, like, a little medal, and I went in the car, and I, like, threw it on the ground because I was like, "I never wanna do this again, this is terrible."
Yeah.
Um, and so then I did jujitsu for a couple years in middle school, and I stopped in high school because in high school I started wrestling, and I did that for 4 years. I was pretty consistent. I wasn't like an amazing wrestler, but because I had done it for 4 years and I put all the work in, it made me like competent with like grappling and stuff. Um, and then I came to Cal Poly my freshman year. Um, and I didn't have wrestling anymore, and I didn't wanna wrestle, but I also was kind of bored because I didn't have that, like, intense physical outlet that wrestling gave me.
Yeah.
So I started weightlifting a little bit, and that was fun, but then, like, after my first year at Cal Poly, I started training jujitsu again, and since then, I've been training pretty much nonstop, almost every day, and, yeah, I've been competing for, like, a little over 2 years now, and it's been fun. I
Yeah.
like it, yeah.
What's your what's your goal with jujitsu? Like where are you trying to get to?
I'm my main goal is to compete at, like, the highest level. Like, I don't know if my, like, main goal is to win. Like, winning doesn't really drive me that much. What drives me is, like, the prospect of people watching me do jujitsu and then them being like, "Wow, that was really cool." Like, I'd rather have someone say that than me just, like, win
Yeah.
by, like, 1 advantage like I did this weekend. I was like, "Ah." But
Yeah. So, okay. So if I want to talk about because you're a student, right? You're going to Cal Poly. But you call yourself a D1 jiu-jitsu athlete, but you're one of one, right? You're potentially the only D1 jiu-jitsu athlete at Cal Poly, at least in our minds and our hearts. So, can you tell us what that is, what that means to you?
um, yeah, so I train jujitsu every day, pretty much every day, multiple times a day. I go to the gym, I go to my classes, I do well in my classes. I'm pretty much living the life that a D1 athlete at Cal Poly would live. I just don't have the official title.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't need the school to give me this title. I can give this title to myself through Instagram Reels. So thus the D1 Jiu Jitsu athlete was born.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I've seen you have a Cal Poly Jiu Jitsu rash guard as well. That was self-given.
Yeah, that was actually given by my father because my dad has a little workshop in our garage at home. And he has a like a heat press machine, and he has like a machine to like cut out designs for shirts. So he's made a few rash guards for me and my friends. But I saw like all the Cal Poly athletes and like the wrestlers, they all wear their Cal Poly and then like whatever, like Cal Poly wrestling, and it's all the same design. And so took the design, I found it online, and I just copied it and I put jujitsu instead of wrestling.
That's a very Craig Jones thing to do. Just rip it off and go for it.
Yeah,
Cool, man. So you with I feel like you originally when I followed you on Instagram, you were kind of posting things, but you didn't really have like a thing,
yeah.
right? And now it seems like the D1 title is taken off and along with your day in the life content. So how did the day in the life stuff come about? That seems to be your format of choice now.
Um, yeah, when I first started posting, I just didn't really, yeah, I didn't have anything. And then I kind of kept hearing that consistency is key when you're posting stuff if you want to grow your social media presence. And then I also thought like it's hard to think of a new thing to post every day. And since I'm training and then also doing school, it like I don't have that much time. I don't have that much mental bandwidth to like put into thinking of something new every day to post. So I was like, okay, I need to find something that's easy to replicate every day or every other day. Um, and then I figured the day in the life stuff is pretty easy because it's just you film your day, um, you edit it, and then you post it. And so I started doing that, and yeah, I figured to make it unique, to make people having have a reaction to it, I could start doing D1 Jiu Jitsu athlete because it's like it's not a thing, and maybe some people might get a little mad, but also some people would see that and get the joke and think it's funny.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, once I started doing that, I realized it's just a formula that's really easy to replicate, and so now it's become kind of a habit that yeah, I like film my day and then the next day I edit it and post it, and it's easy to be consistent like that.
Yeah. Are you what's your creative process look like for these videos that you're creating?
Um there's not much of a process. I mean, because I've done so many, like I've been doing it. I started pretty much a year ago, started doing it a year ago. And because I've done so many, it's like the same, like I'll wake up, I'll film like short clips of my day. Now I kind of know like another thing that's really fun is to look at the analytics and see like when people are liking it, when people stop watching. So now I kind of know like what is interesting to watch. So I'll like film the most watchable parts of my day. And then yeah, the next day I'll airdrop all the videos to my computer and then edit it in Premiere, put some captions, whatever I think is funny, and then just post it.
Cool. You're doing that in Premiere Pro?
Yeah, Premiere.
Did you have experience with Premiere already coming into some of this or
Um, yes. Well, I had experience with Premiere going into the day in the life stuff, but the only experience I had was like editing jujitsu clips, and it was like a few months of experience. So like this, the day in the life videos are the bulk of my Premiere experience. So
yeah, did you because you are also doing some content for Gold and possibly some other places, right? What else are you doing outside of school? You doing some other side jobs for people or
yeah, so my sophomore year, I knew that I needed um, an internship credit to graduate for the journalism program at Cal Poly. Um, and I didn't really want to do like a news internship or like a PR internship. I thought it would be boring. And so I reached out, I emailed Gold BJJ and asked them for an internship basically. And I was emailing back and forth for a little bit, and then I didn't hear from them for a little while, and I was kind of like, oh, like, oh well, like they didn't really know me. It was just like a random email from like a random person asking for like an internship, and I figured it, like it's whatever.
Yeah.
And then a few months later, during the summer between my sophomore and junior year, I met Cole, who was who is one of the owners of Gold. I saw him at a tournament and I started talking to him and I mentioned like, oh, like I was emailing you guys a little bit, but I don't know if you remember. Um, and he said he did remember me and I thought that was cool, but like I didn't want to like press on that because I thought it was like not the right time. So we just talked about jujitsu stuff. But then after that, the next day he gave me and my friend both gift cards to the store. He just emailed us, and I was like, "Wow, this is so cool." And then the next day, he like followed up on my email from a while ago, um, and he asked me like if I was still interested in that internship. And so I went to the office, and yeah, I started making Instagram posts for them. I did that internship, and it went well, and so I'm working with them, still making ad posts, and helping manage their like meta ads and stuff.
Nice. That's cool. And I think I heard you talk about before they fly you out to Austin to record some content or
Yeah, so that was actually really fun. Last January, um, they asked or Cole asked me, he was like, "Hey, like I know this is pretty short notice and you have school, but like if you want um to come to Austin with like the rest of the team, they would let me come along and go for a couple days." So I got to go out to Austin for a couple days with them, and we went to train at um, Roca, which was New Wave's old gym, and that was really fun. And we
yeah.
like shot content for some of the sponsored athletes like Big Dan and then Brandon George, and then yeah, it was just really fun.
Did you get to roll with any of those guys?
I did roll. Yeah, we went to two New Wave classes. Um, I didn't roll with Big Dan, but who did I roll with? I rolled with Dominic Mejia, which was really cool. He's like a younger guy. I think he's like a year younger than me or maybe my age. And he's my weight and he's super, super good. And then I also rolled with this guy from London named Christian Osbeck, who's like a really good judo guy and he foot swept me. So that was
Nice.
cool.
That is cool. So, would you suggest to other student athletes or athletes in general trying to make it that they get on social media and do what you're doing or like what for you because you said it's not really about winning as much as it is just kind of getting your name out there doing some cool stuff. It seems like a lot of college sports are a lot of them are team based, right? So you're kind of at the will of your team and what they do. But then what do they do after college? You know, it seems like you have more of a goal in mind for what you want to do. What do you think? Like, what's the goalpost in the next year or 5 years for you? Are you just going to keep doing what you're doing and hope it leads to something better? Or do you have something in mind?
Um, well, I think I'm gonna continue working at Gold and work there full time. Um, but while I work there, I also want to pursue like more high level jujitsu competition. But also, I know that it's a very long path, and I don't know if I would be completely fulfilled only training all the time. So I think like being able to work there while also training hard at wherever I train will be a good lifestyle for me. But yeah, eventually I want to try to make some money doing jujitsu, and maybe experiment with training jujitsu full time. Like
Yeah.
I would like to try that lifestyle. I don't know if I would love it, but I think n- I at least want to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like the way people have been able to do that in the past is like either open up their own gym or sell tutorials of some kind. But then lately, it seems like people are building their own brand, right? You have like the Craig Jones and Joseph Chen and people like that that are, they kind of have an image out there. So even if Craig never competed again, people would still buy things from him, or, is that kind of the new channel for athletes?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's kind of a good that's kind of a reason why I wanted to do social media is because I was like, I want to find a way to just train jujitsu all the time and not have to do anything else, and then still like be able to make a living off that. And I thought kind of the only way to do that is if through social media.
Yeah.
And so, because through social media you can kind of dictate your own schedule. So I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to mess around with that. But also, I knew that there would be no downsides if I tried doing things with social media. Like, even if it all fails, I still have a lot of good video editing experience. I've made a lot of good connections through Instagram, and I've met cool people. Um, and yeah, there's not really many caveats
Yeah,
to trying to grow your own social media presence.
for sure. It's funny because I talk to people that are trying to find jobs out there and they're saying, like, "Oh, I'm having such a hard time finding a job." And I'm like, "Well, what are you doing in the meantime?" And they're like, "Well, I'm applying here or I'm doing this." They're not out there putting out examples of their work or trying to put something out there for free, or there's a million ways that you can show people what you're about. And it seems like that might be replacing a resume for a lot of people, like people like you that are going out there and they're like, "Hey, I'm doing this for myself. I could do it for you too." You know, like you said, if jujitsu was gone tomorrow, you could just point to your resume of videos and be like, "Do you guys want me to do this for you?" You know, and I think that's like a really good just pointer for people who are looking for, because it seems like for me, I've struggled with like, what do I do in the meantime while I'm trying to figure things out? Right. And I feel like you're also on a similar journey where you're figuring things out and you're like, well, I'm going to make these videos and I'm going to see what works. And I'm going to keep growing and, tweaking what I'm doing. Right. So, and even so far as like something I wonder about is like, how serious are you about D1 Jiu Jitsu? Like, what if Cal Poly came to you tomorrow and they were like, hey, Kai, we want to put a Jiu Jitsu program in place? What would you tell them? Like, how would you do that?
I mean, I would love to like I would tell them that I would love to, but also like I'd have such a huge imposter syndrome. Like I'd be like, I mean, I've only been training jujitsu hard for a couple of years, so it's like there are people that are much better than me who could help out with this, but I would still be like, yeah, I'll do it because I know that saying yes would open so much more opportunity than saying no, and it's kind of those uncomfortable things or those scary things that I realize are the good things to say yes to.
Yeah, for sure. When you started posting content, did you get that like cringy feeling, like the influencer in the wild feeling?
Yeah, that's something that I actually struggle with all the time. Um, yeah, I just hate the like. the aura of like influencer. Um, and that's something I'm actively trying to navigate through because I want to like make other types of content, but it's like what every idea I have, there's like this voice that's like, nah, that's like
Yeah.
too like influencer, like you can't do that, like you have to. I don't know. It's just hard to get past that. So yeah, I'm sticking to my comfort zone of day in the life.
Do you ever make things and then just decide last minute not to post it because it kind of gives off that energy?
Yeah, I actually have a YouTube video that I fully recorded like 2 weeks ago that I was like editing and I was like, and I haven't made the conscious decision to like scrap the entire thing, but I've kind of like been procrastinating editing it because I just hate it. And
Yeah,
so I think I'm just gonna remake the whole thing. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas and then a lot of voices in my head telling me that's bad. So
yeah, I think you do a good job of diffusing that with humor,
yeah,
you know,
I try.
at the very least. Like your organic pizza video was pretty cool, you know?
That was a fun video. I wanted to make more videos like that, but like so that video was just like me talking about a seminar I went to and it was fun to be able to talk just naturally to the camera, but I think one of the reasons that I was able to do that was because I was in such a good mood that day. So it's like if I'm not in that like really talkative good mood, then it's really hard for me to do that again.
Yeah,
It's hard to replicate that. And that's one of the reasons why this YouTube video that I was just talking about, that's why I don't like it as much is because I wasn't in like a I mean I wasn't in a bad mood when I recorded it, but I just wasn't in that mood to like be able to talk as much as I want.
for sure. Yeah, that's one of the things that I find exhausting about social media in general is like thinking when you get on that train of needing to post something every day, it just like doesn't I mean for me it doesn't come naturally sometimes, you know, and I'm not feeling like I want to share certain things with everybody. Even these conversations, like I get protective over these conversations because I'm like, these are just my friends, you know, like we're just having a conversation about life. And I mean they're built to share, and the whole point of this is to share advice with other people who are on the same path. But some days like you gotta step up, man, and like even if you're not feeling up to it. And I think people can tell when the energy isn't there, you know? Do you have anything like that you do specifically to try to get yourself in that zone?
I drink coffee.
I love coffee.
Yeah, I love coffee. Shout out Pete. Thanks, Pete. He gave me a free espresso machine that was
Nice.
sitting in his garage. So yeah, I have an espresso. I have like an Americano in the morning.
Cool.
But other than that, I don't know. I think being like taking care of myself physically, like eating right and getting good sleep, that plays a very big role in my emotional state.
For sure.
So like when I'm like today I was kind of like dragging a little bit tired and I think it's because like this past week I've been eating really clean because I had to like diet a little bit for this tournament. And then last night I got this huge burrito from
Yeah.
this place in King City and like it was a really good burrito, but this morning I could just feel like I could kind of feel my body being a little bit sluggish and I also felt like a little bit slower mentally.
Yeah.
So I think taking care of myself physically really does help my mental state and it helps me be a little bit sharper.
Yeah. What kind of things do you do that maybe the average person doesn't do?
Um that's hard to say. I think cuz I don't really do anything that special. I just like cook I eat like I don't know pretty simple foods because I'm not a great cook, but it's like if like rice and ground beef and like sweet potatoes and like cutting up some vegetables. That's not hard to make. And that's like good for you.
Yeah,
Um, and then I mean I also focus on my sleep. So yeah, I don't think I do anything different than the average person. I think the average person just isn't as consistent, maybe. I don't know.
sure.
I don't want to sound like I'm saying I'm better than everyone else, but maybe I am. I don't know.
Yeah, do you, like, stick to the same routines? Like, are you really routine based where you do the same things every day, and if you get out of that, does it mess with you mentally?
It definitely I like being able to plan my day and think like the night before. I find it really satisfying to like go over in my head what I'm gonna do the next day. And so if I don't have anything planned, it just kind of I can feel the next day being not as productive and I just don't feel that great. Um that's kind of one of the big bonuses about going to jujitsu class all the time is because jujitsu class always starts at the same time. So it's really easy to work the rest of my day around that. And that um, gives me like a pretty regimented daily routine.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, like this quarter, I've been really good with going to the 6 a.m. classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I haven't missed a single one, which is like crazy because usually I'm like, after like the third or fourth week, I'm like, all right, I'm too tired to go to these. But
yeah,
I don't know what it is about this quarter, but yeah, I've been going for like pretty much 10 weeks straight and I haven't missed a single 6 a.m. class. So I'm pretty proud of that.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that because you go to the Wednesday Santa Maria class too, right?
Yeah, I've also been consistent with that. I told Lance is the owner of Santa Maria there, and I told him the first week I went back, I was like, if I don't show up, you have to like make fun of me or yell at me or something. And
That's why he's trolling you on
yeah, he
Instagram.
keeps me honest. When I show up 10 minutes late, he calls me out on his story, and I'm like, I gotta come on time next time. Like,
Yeah, that's good, man. It's a good mechanism to keep yourself,
yeah, public shame. I
yeah,
think we should
public
we should
shame.
bring that back
Yeah,
2026.
bring it back, dude, for sure. We'll all get in on it and just
Yeah.
shame you.
Hmm.
Yeah, are you, I feel like you're like, for me, if I was competing and I had very specific diet and sleep kind of programs and everything, and then one of those things didn't line up before the competition, it would mess with me mentally. You ever get things like that where you just feel like you're not 100% there before competition?
Yeah, that's something I really have to. I'm still trying to work at that because it's difficult. Like if there's one thing that's off, it can kind of. I try really hard not to let it affect me in competition, but it's like it's difficult. Um, one of the things that kind of helps is I would like to credit Seth for this, but like a couple years ago he was telling me about how he started taking caffeine pills before like competitions and I started doing that and honestly like it really locks me in. Like if I'm like feeling a little bit sluggish day of the competition, I'll take a caffeine pill and like it just goes away and I'm just thinking about the competition.
Yeah,
But recently I've kind of noticed that when I do take those caffeine pills, now that I'm more comfortable competing, the caffeine pills kind of get me too amped. So I don't know, maybe I need to cycle off them. So
yeah, and you're not really cutting for these competitions, right?
yeah, no, I'm not so I walk around usually like lately I've been walking around at like 170 and my weight class in the gi is 168 with the gi on, so I have to be around 165 or 166. So I'm not like cutting a crazy amount. But sometimes I do have to diet down a little bit, but I don't like because I'm competing, my goal is to compete like once every 2 weeks. And if I'm cutting like 10 pounds every 2 weeks, that's like I can't it's just not a good lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It's not
Yeah,
healthy. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I think this is a good time to bring up your arch nemesis, Ethan, because I see him cutting pretty hardcore recently.
Yeah.
Were you guys roommates before?
Yeah, we were roommates last year.
Are you guys actually rivals?
Um, no. Um, I don't know. Not really. I just think it's a I like to perpetuate this because it's funny because he's so much bigger than me. Um, and also like he never whenever I try to instigate him on Instagram,
Yeah,
he just never gives into it. I'm like, "Bro, you have to fight back." But he's always like, "No, this is like all love, bro." And I'm like, "No, like please fight back."
yeah.
But no, he's super nice to a fault because like I wanna like start beef. I wanna start Instagram beef with him, but
You got to
he just
step up your game.
he has to step up his game.
You got to
I'm
train
calling you
hard.
out, Ethan Wagner. Step up your game. Fight me on Instagram.
There you go.
We already fought on the mats once and I won.
Yeah, that's I saw that
Yep.
match on YouTube.
And he tried to play it off like a joke.
Nope.
Nope. It was real. It was a real match.
Yeah, you got to fight him again. Prove it.
I
Round
might
two.
retire. I
Okay.
might retire so that I never have to have any match with him again because lately I've been seeing his clips and his matches and I feel like he's been improving so much training
Yeah,
at Legion or training with Andres and all the people there.
yeah.
So,
And his clips. He's catching up to you on Instagram, man.
yeah, dude, he his clips are great because they're so he's always posting different stuff, which is I think something that I'm not very good at because like I mentioned earlier, I stay in my comfort zone of those day in the life videos, but Ethan's really good about variation, so that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it would be cool. We'll set you guys up with a super fight. And
No, I'm scared.
no.
I'm dodging it. Actually, no, I'm not scared. There are just external reasons why I don't want to do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
we'll set it up, man. What is like, I guess I've heard you talk about like I want to hit on the humor thing because I've heard you talk about meme culture. I've heard you talk about EFOC and what that is. I mean, you've talked about it once on this podcast, but it seems like it's pretty important because it makes it into all your videos. So I would say like you're I feel like the dry humor you have, man, is just hilarious to me. And it would be so funny to see you and Ethan actually like have like a real rivalry on Instagram. You know what I mean? I think that would be I don't know. We got to coax more angry Ethan.
Yeah, yeah, he's too nice.
Yeah.
He's far too nice.
What do you think it would take?
Um, I don't know. I would never be able to get him. Actually, I would be able to get him riled up in person when we live together. I could always tell because he would like he would try to like debate me and like we'd debate each other, but I could always tell when I was like getting somewhere and like getting him mad when he like got really serious about the debate.
Yeah,
So,
that's it.
but I don't really know like what exactly I could do to like actually start some great Instagram beef.
Yeah,
Mm,
you got to think about it.
yeah, I gotta think about it.
I'll get him on here and then I'll ask him that question and
Yeah.
we'll see what
No, his
happens.
answer will be, "Oh, I would never want to start any beef." Like, and then I just look like a terrible person.
Yeah.
He's the nicest person in the world. So it's
Yeah, you're
like,
the villain
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, are you I feel like the something about you that is really frustrating when we roll is that you're so methodical. It seems like you're always doing something very specific. So if let's say I come in and you're dodging me all day and then we roll and you're going to you're going to hit the same like the same sweep for 5 minutes or like the same drag or the same something, are you like what is your do you pick a move and you just do that all week till you get it? Or because like We went on that turf servers trip a little while back. You were reading or you talked about the Art of Learning book. Is that did you pull anything from that that's useful? Do you implement anything that's special to your training regimen?
Um, I never finished that book, and I don't think I gained that much. Like
No.
I need to go back and reread it because it was a cool book. I just um yeah, I didn't gain that much from when I read it. But I don't know if I'm that methodical. I'm just lazy and slow, and then it makes people think I'm like trying to do something when in reality I'm just like being lazy and slow.
Okay.
And so but yeah, so I do try to work on things a lot, specifically in training. Like if there is yeah, a certain move I want to get good at, I just try to rep it out and do it in live. Like I'll drill it a few times just so my body like will understand how to do the movement, and then I'll try to implement that movement while I roll, and it usually doesn't work that well, and then I'll be like, why isn't this working? Or I'll just keep trying it over and over again, and eventually like um I don't I don't know if I'm thinking about it consciously or like my body just kind of like starts to understand like what it needs to do to complete the move, and then after my body understands, then it's like okay, I could replicate this without having to think super hard.
Yeah. Do you watch like a decent amount or buy any tutorials or do you just get all your moves off Instagram?
No, I watch a lot of like um instructionals. I get kind of go through phases. Like when I'm less busy with school, I'll watch more. Or if I have like a really specific thing that I'm working on or that I want to work on, I'll watch more. Um, I like watching like the big matches, like on Who's Number One or Polaris,
Yeah.
and seeing like the stuff that people do there, because then it gives me stuff I want to work on. Because when I try to force myself to learn things, like if I was like, okay, I really need to get good at back defense, like I would probably watch some instructionals, but then get bored of it.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I watch a big match where like I see like at this recent Polaris match, like five five different trend locks were
Yeah,
hit. So I was like, oh, I really want to work on trend locks. And so like I'll be like extra motivated to learn that,
for
and
sure.
it'll just be a lot more productive than if I tried to force myself to learn something.
Yeah. There's a couple guys in our crew that they have every instructional that you could possibly buy and they'll watch like 10 hours of Danaher and I'm like this is there's no way you actually gained anything from that.
It's yeah, like it's also hard too because like even if you do watch so much, like you might gain like a tiny bit, and then like it could be worth it. But also it's like, oh, I don't want to sit here for 10 hours watching this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, one thing that I feel like would stress me out or maybe psych me out is if I was going to have like a one-on-one match with somebody, like the fight to win format, and then I knew that I was going to go up against somebody, so I was watching their clips, their reels, to try to figure out their style. Do you ever do that and try to break it down and
Um, I don't think I've ever done that, but I've only had like two um super fight style matches like that. But I really one of the like benefits to like the social media is that I know that other people do that for me because like it's a normal thing to do to try to like see who you're going against.
yeah,
And I think um I just think it makes me laugh to like look at my profile from from like a opponent's point of view,
yeah,
because if I was researching my opponent and I saw this guy's making day in the life videos pretty much every day, I'd be like, "This guy sucks." I like this what is this guy doing? He's just spending all his time on Instagram Reels, like, there's no jujitsu clips, like, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna smoke this guy. And
yeah,
I really like, going into matches where I'm, like, being underestimated
for sure.
because it makes winning so much more satisfying.
Yeah.
So,
What would you say, like, doesn't make it into those day in the life videos?
um, me sitting at my computer for, like, 3 hours just, like, I've done time lapses of me doing homework and work, but it's like, what does anyone gain from watching me do that?
Yeah,
And,
just live
like,
stream it.
yeah, yeah, so the work doesn't make it in, I get a lot of comments about, like, people asking if I even shower
Yeah,
because, like, I don't put clips of me showering in even though I'm training 3 times a day, and I'm like, "Guys, I shower. I'm just not gonna film myself showering."
you gotta prove it.
I mean, maybe the shower clip is coming soon, I don't know.
Yeah,
But, yeah, that, and then I don't really post when I, like, go to the bars,
yeah.
but, like, I don't go to the bars all the time. So,
So we're not getting the whole picture. No
I mean,
shower clips, no bar clips.
yeah, actually, after every single video, I stay out till 2 AM just at the bars.
Okay. If you posted that, people would underestimate you, like Craig Jones.
Yeah, they would. They would. Or not. Maybe they'd think I'm really cool and, like, be scared of me because I'm so cool.
Maybe that's what's missing
Yeah.
the whole time. The I feel like the part that's hard, I think, for people to understand, like in the day in the live videos, I mean, for anybody like you, even me, is like you're a human being, right? You're going to school, you're going to classes, you're working on multiple things. You're trying to find time to edit these clips, which I'm sure takes a bit of time to do, and stay consistent. You're competing on the weekends, training 2 to 3 times a day sometimes. Do you ever get like, do you ever feel like exhausted? Do you ever feel like quitting sometimes?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to be consistent posting all the time, because it gets really boring.
Yeah.
Since it's the same thing over and over, it's just so monotonous to, like, film and edit, and since I have a very similar daily routine, it's like I'm making the same video over and over again. But also, I've kinda realized that, like, when you're making videos, especially on, Instagram and other, like, short form social media platforms, it's like people who are watching your video don't want you to be a real person, and, I can't change other people's behavior, and if the behavior that makes people want to watch you is, like actually, I'm not, like this is really hard to explain, but, why would I try to force people to watch content that they don't wanna watch? Like, I don't know, this is getting too convoluted. Let's come back to this.
Yeah.
I get
Are you saying more for like doing things outside of things that you would normally do for the views? Or are you saying like as far as people like what do you mean by people don't want to see you as like a human?
um, I think what I'm trying to say is that, like, if I say, like, "Oh, this is the day in the life of a D1 Jiu Jitsu athlete," like, they don't wanna see me, like, I don't know, doing boring things. They wanna see me going to training, like, eating, going to class,
Yeah.
and it's like, I can't overcomplicate that. I don't wanna, like, show them, like, "Oh, I'm so sad today," or, like, yeah, I think just keeping the video as simple as possible
Yeah.
and not, like, going into, like, all the details of my life
For sure.
is really the key to like having people like watch your video because it's like when you're scrolling stuff, you don't decide like I want to watch this. It's when you're scrolling and when the algorithm's giving you stuff, you're kind of in like a hypnotic state where it's like you don't consciously decide when you keep scrolling. You just automatically scroll.
Yeah.
So if I like overcomplicate the video and have people start thinking too much, they'll probably just scroll away. So I'm like, I gotta keep this simple, gotta keep this like very minimal and yeah.
Yeah. I've heard it both ways. I've heard people say you got to be your true authentic self, and if you're not real with people and you're not sharing everything, then people are going to know, they're going to smell it on you that you're fake, right? And then I've heard it the other way where people are like, I don't need to share everything with you. And like you said, that doesn't I've I've kind of A/B tested this a little bit too, and sometimes that doesn't get people's attention, like being vulnerable and being authentic with people. Um, which is a shame because I think that if people knew a little bit more of the not fun to hear side of people's story sometimes, I think they might not just assume that it's always like sunshine and daisies over in Kai's life, right? Like I'm sure you're dealing with stuff. You're a college kid. You're going through. I mean, if you get a bad grade in a class or something's going wrong with a girl or something's going wrong with a friend or family, like you're not going to post about that stuff, but it does happen, right? So I think that's like I struggle with the authenticity part as well. And I don't know, man. I don't know what the right answer is, but it seems like part of the reason I started this podcast was to try to get like the real people on here, you know. So that's why I'm trying to dig into some of these things with people is like what's the part of you that we don't see most of the time on Instagram that you don't usually talk about, you know? And I think I mean with jujitsu, man, like I've dealt with something that really just sucks that's a part of jujitsu is like injuries. You know, like one injury could take you out for 6 months and you I mean, if jujitsu is like your main outlet for exercise and activity and relationships, like it's kind of on hold for a while. Do you have like have you had any bad injuries? Do you have other things like that? No, you're injury free?
Yeah, I'm like um I think I'm just too scared to put myself in positions that would like injure me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's reflected in like my jujitsu style. It's like very like it's very safe in like a from like a jujitsu perspective and from like a physical well-being perspective. Um I mean, there has been a time I got my wisdom teeth out a couple summers ago and I couldn't train for like a week and that was terrible. That was like because I couldn't really do anything. And so I kind of can relate in that sense, but I try to stay injury free to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Do you ever have like things that come up in your life that require more attention than jujitsu and then you kind of fall off for a little bit or have you just been blessed so far with streaks of
Um Yeah, so far I haven't really had any like trials or tribulations to take me off the mats. But then again, I've only been training like hard for like 2.5 years.
yeah,
So like 2.5 years is not that long in like the grand scheme of my life, hopefully. But um yeah, I don't know. Maybe when I do face these trials and tribulations, that will force me to come off the mats. Hopefully, I will find other outlets, because, yeah, not training for even more than a few days for me just sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just want to touch someone's legs or something. I don't know. Like,
What do you think you would do if that happened? Like, if you couldn't train jujitsu
like
starting tomorrow?
if I couldn't train jujitsu starting tomorrow, I would definitely try to go. Definitely do other physical activities. I'd work out. I'd probably do a lot of surfing. I really like going to the beach and going in the ocean. I'm from San Diego, so I did that a lot in high school. Um, I'd probably get back into skateboarding too. Yeah. If I couldn't do anything physical though, that's probably the would be the biggest hurdle
Yeah.
because like I mentioned earlier, if I'm not able to keep myself physically healthy, then it really starts to mess with my emotional state,
Yeah,
and like my mental health as well.
for sure. What's coming up on the horizon for you as far as competition or things you're looking forward to?
I have Nogi Worlds in on like December 12th or 13th, and that's in Vegas. I'm flying from San Diego to Vegas, and I'm staying in a hotel with Ethan, so that's gonna be fun. Um, Other than that, next week I'm going home for Thanksgiving, gonna drive to San Diego, gonna see family.
Nice.
Maybe I'll try to surf a little bit. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Are you I think Ethan just did, ADCC trials, is that what that
Mhm.
was?
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing anything like that anytime soon?
Um, Maybe, but I'm not like super I'm not super I don't feel like a really strong drive to try to like compete at ADCC trials right now. I think part of it is because I don't know if I'm ready for that because I know that it's gonna, if I really want to like pursue some professional competition, I'm not going to be able to do it just having been training for a couple years. Like I need to have a few years under my belt before I can go out and have like a real shot. But I don't think it would be bad for me to go and try.
Yeah,
But also it's kind of a chore to have to fly somewhere, get a hotel, and spend like a week, maybe cut weight. It's just a lot of things that, because one of the things that I um I value, which is not a very common theme in like the jujitsu athlete population, is like a balance in my life. Like, I don't want to have to be doing like I don't want to be I don't want to have to make huge sacrifices all the time, especially because I'm in my last year of college
yeah,
and I have other things going on. Um yeah, like I mentioned earlier, maybe there will be a time in my life when I want to try to like give everything to pursuing jujitsu competition, but right now I know it's not the time for that. Right now it's the time for me to build a very strong foundation of jujitsu skills and compete within compete as much as possible within reason.
yeah, for sure. Do you think, like, if there's a kid who's watching this in high school right now, and they're like, "Man, Kai is my hero. I wanna do exactly what he does."
Terrible hero.
What advice would you give that kid if he sent you a DM on Instagram and he's like, "Kai, tell me what to do. Give me the rundown."
um Actually, people do send me some DMs. I mean, it's only been a handful of people who have like sent me DMs asking me like some like advice, but it's all the questions are super vague, and I'm like, I don't have all the answers, bro.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know every single aspect of your life. Only you know that. So like you can only give yourself the answer, and that's like a terrible answer coming from me. Like it's like a super vague, like just like kind of a cop out answer, but
yeah,
it's honestly like I don't have all the details, so I don't feel confident making an educated decision on someone else's life.
yeah,
So I would tell them like you have to assess your life and understand and try to learn what are the th- what things keep you back from pursuing what you want to pursue? And if there's nothing that keeping you back, then like why are you not pursuing that?
For sure. Yeah, would are there any is there anybody in your life that's like a mentor for you that you feel like is kind of like a guiding person?
Yeah, I think my dad has helped me my whole life with my mindset. I never really realized it until a couple of years ago because my dad has been a teacher my whole life. He's taught special ed from like elementary to middle to high school. So, he always and like I mentioned earlier, he's big into sports. So he's always I think he's always tried to instill like tool like mental tools and different mindsets into me, and I've always kind of been like that's cool, but like never really gave it much thought until I started reading yeah, a couple years ago I started getting really into reading like mindset books and stuff, and I was like reading them, and it was cool, but I was like this is stuff that like I already know. Like why do people need to read these books? Like why do I need to read this book if this is just like common sense stuff? And then I kind of like zoomed out and I was like, okay, if people are writing these books and these books are popular and people say they like these books, maybe this stuff isn't common sense. And then I kind of like was like doing more assessing, and I'm like, why would I already think like this? And I kind of realized like my dad's been instilling a lot of these mindset principles into me since I was like a really young kid. So like I've just kind of grown up around that, and that's when I realized I was like, oh, that is very that's awesome that my dad did that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I think my dad has helped me with the way I think and my ability to pursue things and work hard.
Yeah. As far as all that stuff goes, like, do you have any Kai tips that you can share on the mindset? Like, what's your favorite thing takeaway you've had from any of those books or your dad or
Um, there's so many. Um, I think like being able to be comfortable in your own situation is good. Um, no matter what, like trying to find like I'm a pretty big optimist. Like not optimist in the way that it like um deludes my outlook on life, but I try to be optimistic about realistic things.
yeah,
Because I'm a pretty logical person, and so I've kind of come to the conclusion that like the most logical way to live my life is to focus on the good things because I could just as easily focus on bad things, but then I would probably get into like thought loops of like negative stuff, and it would hinder my progress for the things I want to do in life. So logically for me it takes the same amount of energy to look at one event in a negative light as it would to look at it in a positive light. So why not just look at it in the positive light if it's like the same energy?
yeah,
Um but one thing that has helped me a lot to do that is meditation.
yeah,
So like a year ago, a little over a year ago, I got this book called Passage Meditation, and it just talks about like why you should meditate. It gives you a like guideline like you have to meditate 30 minutes a day, no more, no less, and it tells you how to do it. So every day since then, I meditate 30 minutes in the morning, and I don't I don't think I don't see like a crazy insane lifestyle shift like the moment I started meditating, but it helps me in little ways, and it's like if I can benefit my life in a small way, why and there's no other like there are no other repercussions. There's no downside to doing that. Why would I not do that?
yeah,
So,
definitely. That's cool, man. I've kind of played with meditation a little bit, and I do from time to time. And I have read books. Like I read it's called like 10% Happier, 5% Happier or something um, a while back, and it definitely helps you with focus if you struggle to focus on things, or if you have kind of creative blocks in some way. And I think some people are scared to sit with themselves in a quiet room for long periods of time. So it can definitely be helpful there too. But one of the things about the energy that you're kind of talking about is I heard you talk about on the other podcast you were on that
Yeah.
you have a hard time being angry at your opponents, that you
Yeah.
you can't motivate yourself with anger.
Yeah.
Is that like like you said you have a hard time competing with your friends too, you know, is what's the balance there between getting out there and trying to be get yourself in that mindset of like going to war, but also, you know, when you and I roll, it's just like a funny giggle fest.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I can't bring myself to like get angry because I just think it's so corny.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, like why am I trying to get mad over this like this random sport? Like it's not there's no actual like stakes. So it's and that kind of helps me in like understanding that it's not life or death, and like if I lose, like it's I can move on and keep progressing, but also it's a little bit of a detriment too because sometimes um like maybe I need to care more about it, and maybe if I cared a little bit more, I could put in that little extra effort
Yeah.
to win. So that's something I'm always trying to work on. Um but I think yeah, when I compete, I notice that the times I've succeeded the most in competition are the times that I focus on like how happy I am. And it sounds so stupid. It's like you gotta focus on the like it sounds like a children's cartoon. Like
Yeah.
if you focus on your happiness, then you'll succeed. But I mean that's just that's what I found works the best for me.
Yeah.
Um and then like yeah, I hate competing against my friends because I know what they're good at, and so I'll just start thinking so much harder than any other matches I'm in. Um, and also like I the outcome of a match with my friends, there's only two outcomes. The first outcome is I win, and then they're disappointed, but they have to act like they're not disappointed.
Yeah.
The second outcome is that they win and they're happy, but I'm disappointed and I have to act like I'm not disappointed. So either way, it's like someone you care about is being disappointed.
Yeah.
So it's just not that fun, but it's part of it, and
Yeah.
I think it's good to have things that are hard to do.
For sure. Yeah, it's funny because I feel like you have your kind of fair weather friends who that when you're doing really good, they support you, and when you when you lose, they kind of fall away for a little bit, and then you have your like true friends that they're just happy for you regardless. And like you said, if you're going against them, it's a lose lose in that scenario where
Yeah.
you want the best for them and they want the best for you, and somebody's got to lose. So
Yeah, but there are definitely like better ways to look at it. Like you can kind of shift your mindset to be like, "Oh, like we're still improving either way."
yeah,
And yeah, I think it's definitely all about how you look at it, but even still it's hard to get over that. It's hard to shift your mindset in those scenarios.
yeah, definitely, man. All right. Well, before we wrap up, Kai, is there anything else that you want to throw out there? Some words of wisdom for us?
Mm, I don't know. I think people should read more fiction books. I'm almost done with the Twilight Saga. I've always been curious about that because um that that held the like cultural geist
Yeah.
for a while back in the day. And I was never one to like really dive into those movies or the books. And recently one of my friends was reading the books and she was like, "These are like great." So I was like, "Okay, I really have to see what these are about." And I love them. They're
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, they're great books. Um, they give me like something to look forward to. Like if I'm just having like a monotonous day, I can just tell myself like at the end of the day, you get to go home, lay in your bed and read Twilight. And I'm just like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, so I think more people should have that. Um, but no, I say that because a lot of my friends, and I think a lot of people my age, struggle with like scrolling and being way too like sucked into your phones, and it's really easy to do.
Yeah.
But I noticed that I could just as easily get sucked into a book, a fiction book, but then if I read for an hour, like I don't feel like I've wasted my life. If I scroll for an hour, I feel like I've just like yeah, lost an hour and just it's been terrible, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe that's the new creative unlock. People need they need more Twilight in their
Yeah,
life.
read more Twilight.
It's gonna be on Craig Jones' Instagram next. He's gonna be like, "Thank you so much, Kai."
Maybe I can make a reading instructional because I know that is definitely difficult for the jujitsu population.
Yeah, I'll buy it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Kai. Thank you so much, man. I
Thanks for
appreciate you
having
coming
me.
on, and thanks for sharing your wisdom with us.
Of course. I don't have many years, but um I don't know.
But you're wise.
I guess so. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of the Making Mentors podcast. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Please drop a like, comment, or follow on your favorite platform. And thank you so much for following my journey and supporting me and all those who are willing to share their stories on this channel. Until next time, cheers.